My name is Ron Wilstein, and I'm a broker with Keller Williams Luxury Properties Worldwide Collaboration here in Park City, Utah. I'm going to present to you today our Park City Market Talk webinar for May 2020, and the topics we're going to cover are the coronavirus in Utah, Park City upcoming events, Park City sales and prices, looking at the marketplace, and then finally talk about the Epic Pass credit, which is available to season pass owners because of the early shutdown due to COVID-19. Well, these certainly are not the images that we expect to see when we think about Park City, Utah, but the COVID virus has certainly created a new look. The information I'm going to provide to you here comes from the covidvirus.utah.gov site. They're the source of the information. There's plenty more there than what I'm going to cover here, but feel free to keep up to date based upon the information available on that website. Key thing I want to take a look at, these are the different counties, the total cases of COVID reported in Utah, and the number of cases in Utah as of May 16th, 2020 is 7,238 cases. Hospitalizations have been 586, and the total number of deaths in Utah has been 80. When we focus in on Summit County in particular, which is where Park City is located, we have seen 401 cases. This is actually where cases began in Utah. 36 hospitalizations and fortunately 0 deaths. It has impacted upcoming events, not just for Park City, but for the whole state. Many of the popular events in Park City have either been canceled or they've been postponed due to county-issued public health orders. And you can go to the event website at the chamber to get updated on that. But a lot of the events have been canceled. Behind me there is Gary Hebert. He is the governor of Utah with his plan to reopen Utah. It's a three-phase plan. It began March 16th when the first outbreak came here of community spread, came to Utah, came to Park City actually. And that is known as the urgent phase, began March 16th. The stabilization phase, which is what we're in right now, began about middle of April. It's expected to go through September of this year. Hopefully it'll be shorter, but that's what the expectation is. And then the third phase is beginning recovery, which is estimated to occur in the fall. Now, this may be a little bit confusing because Utah is already reopening now in May, but the real recovery is what they see happening in the fall months. Utah has done well, however, in handling the complexities of the coronavirus. It ranks number 1 in the country for PPP loans. You're familiar with that. That's the Paycheck Program loans. Percentages of eligibility Utah has exceeded with the highest percentage of eligible payroll covered in Utah of the entire United States. Utah banks have processed 45,990 loans for a total of $5.5 billion for Utah businesses, and that equals about 90% of the total payroll eligible for this program. So they have been very efficient at getting money into the hands of the business owners here in Utah. 71.3% of eligible Utah small businesses have received or have been approved for loans. So this is good news. We want to keep you informed of upcoming events in Park City, particularly as the summer approaches. And normally we would do this by directing you to Park City's Chamber of Commerce website, which is BuyParkCity.com. But with the coronavirus, it's a bit limited as to what it has to offer. Park City is normally packed full of activities during the summer, from the 4th of July parade to the Arts Festival to the weekly concerts at Deer Valley. Most of those events we look forward to, but they have been canceled or postponed. And so that's, of course, very disappointing. So it's pretty limited what's on visitparkcity.com. Let me just take you there real quickly. However, there are some things here. Here we are on the website. You can go up to events, click on that, and I'll get out of the way here for a second. And you come down here, and there are events here through May and going into June, but they're not the big events that we're accustomed to seeing, which of course gather a lot of people. And so it's a bit more limited there. But we did want to make you aware of that. I also want to direct you to the COVID-19 travel information. And this allows you to know what is the position of the state and the Summit County Health Department as to businesses, as to people coming back to Park City for guests for vacation. So it's a good place to refer to in the future as you're planning your visits for Park City, or if you live here, you just want to know the latest information about what's allowed and recommended. Park City and Deer Valley are waiting for further direction from both the state of Utah and the Summit County officials regarding its summer operations. And of course, that has to do with mountain biking and a lot of other things that we're accustomed to doing at the resorts, from miniature golf to horseback riding to you name it. But I do want to mention, let's not forget about the good old-fashioned fun and outdoor activities like hiking the Armstrong Trail or getting your mountain bike out and riding on the Mid-Mountain Trail. You can get up there even if the lifts are not running to get you up there. Got to start a little hard, got to probably work a bit more on your mountain biking, but there's plenty to do in Park City, even in the midst of this outbreak, and I think more things will be opening up soon. Well, let's take a look at the Park City real estate market. Over the past year, there's been 1,367 sales. That consists of homes, condos, and vacant land. That's all real estate brokerages combined. And that is up 86 sales or 7% from the year before. Breaking this down into categories of homes, condos, and lots, with the red bars representing the period of time from May 2019 to April 2020, and the silver bars represent the 12-month period before that, you can see that the number of home sales is down slightly from 531 to 519. However, condominium sales are way up 21%, climbing from 598 sales all the way up to 722. And lots, well, we don't have that many lots in Park City either way, but it's down from 152 to 160 or to 126. And that in part is impacted because there is a good inventory of homes and condos available, and that tends to slow the lot sales. Here we're looking at homes, and we've broken it into Park City and the Snyderville Basin. And in the Park City limits, the number of sales are up 11%, from 159 sales to 176, but a decrease in the number of sales in the Snyderville Basin, the county area of Park City, from 372 to 343. Turning to condominiums, we see an increase in both areas, 7% in the city limits from 390 to 332, and the Snyderville Basin a big boost, 35% increase from 289 to 390 sales. So that's pretty significant. Vacant land, again, the decrease that I pointed out before, now broken down into the categories. 4 fewer sales in the Park City limits, only 22 the last year. That's 2 a month approximately. Decrease of 17% from 126 to 104 in the Snyderville Basin area. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what's happening with prices. Here in Park City, the prices have dropped about 14% year over year in terms of medium sold price. It dropped from the $2,190,000, which was an all-time high for medium, to $1,876,500. A little too early to say this is a real indicator of the coronavirus, but we were seeing it a bit beforehand, and I expect we'll see more of this, however. Just a 1% decrease, $10,000 drop from $1,260,000 to $1,250,000 in the Snyderville Basin. So prices held firm there. In the condominium category, we see prices down in the Park City limits and up in the Snyderville Basin. In condominiums, we see prices down in the Park City limits and up in the Snyderville Basin. 10% decrease in Park City to $770,000 from the previous $859,000, but a 23% increase in the median sold price in the Snyderville Basin from $552,500 to $681,308. Land prices, well, look at that. Inside the city limits, there weren't many, but they jumped 46% as a median price, up to $1,405,000 from the previous $965,000. Now, when you only have a few sales, which is what we had here, 22 this past year, it just depends where those properties are located. That's what would account for a huge increase like this. Not that value of land inside the city overall is going up that much. It's accurate figures, but there just weren't a lot of sales, so I just don't want you to misrepresent or misunderstand what that means. Decrease in land values about 8% in the Snyderville Basin, where there were more sales, dropping from a median price of $491,500 to $454,000. Time on the market we always like to look at. It's an indicator of activity and how quickly deals are coming together or how slowly. Average time for home sales is 108 days. That's actually pretty quick. That's about 3.5 months. However, the time on the market of properties that are on the market that fail to sell is 8.5 months, 258 days. So the moral to that story is price your property correctly and it will sell in a reasonable period of time. Overprice it and it's not likely to sell at all, but you'll have your property on the market a long time. We want to keep you informed about the impact of the coronavirus on the Park City and particularly on our real estate market. And to do this, we're choosing to do so in a number of ways available to us. Of course, we do our monthly webinars. You're watching one right now. And in April, we focused in on the coronavirus, talked about that in great detail. And you can always go to our website and look at that. We also started to do recently, because of the coronavirus, an update we call them roundtables. I gather 4 experts to share how COVID-19 has changed things in Park City. Fortunately, I've got 4 experts who are a member of my team with Dean DeLeon, Jeremy Wilstein, Doug Olmstead, and myself. And so we got together and talked about that, and you can watch that at BuyParkCity.com. We're going to be doing that more often, at least monthly, as our way to keep you informed of what's happening in Park City. Finally, let's talk about ski passes. And we all know that the 2019-2020 ski and snowboard season came to an abrupt end on March 15th with the closure of the Park City Mountain Resort and really all of Vail's resorts due to the coronavirus. Well, if you had a ski pass and you were expecting to ski for the last month of the season, you were definitely disappointed by this. And Vail has tried to respond, Vail Resorts, by offering a credit from last year's ski season, which is officially ended now. And the credit is anywhere from a 20% to an 80% credit toward next year's ski pass. This graph here describes it, but it just depends how much time you were able to use last year's pass. If you didn't get a chance to use it at all, you get an 80% credit, and if you used it quite a bit, you're going to get at least a 20% credit and something in between. In addition to that, Vail is offering their season pass insurance is going to be thrown in for free, taking much of the worry out about getting a pass now. Certainly there's uncertainty associated with where we're going to be next ski season with the coronavirus. They don't want you to have to worry about it. This will provide a refund for any personal events that may occur in your life or the resort's closure if it's necessary. The credit is available through Labor Day, which is Monday, September 7th, 2020. No math is required. If you've had a season pass, you by now should have received an email from them telling you a bit about your pass and exactly what your credit is if you're entitled to a credit. So check that out. You can also go to this address, epicpass.com /info/2019-2020-pass-holder-credit, and you'll see all the information right there, and you can get an update, see exactly where you stand on your Epic Pass. This naturally caused me to ask, well, what about the Icon Pass that includes Deer Valley? Well, at least as of today's date, which is May 17th, 2020, there's been no announcement yet from Altair Mountain Company, that is the owner of Deer Valley Resort, if they're going to offer any credit to pass holders for the 2019-2020 shortened season. It is worth mentioning at this point that if you are interested in an Epic Pass, you can go to their website, BuyParkCity.com, and get the latest update, order your pass. And the same is true for the Icon Pass, and the sooner you buy, the better price you get historically. So go there and check that out if you're interested in that. If you want to keep up with Park City Real Estate, continue to watch our monthly Park City Market Talk webinar as you are doing now. Certainly review our Park City Link newsletter that comes out every so many months. It's also available on our website at BuyParkCity.com. In addition to that, we are adding some other ways to keep you informed, starting with weekly podcasts that will begin later this month or in May. And the roundtable discussion that we discussed, that's going to occur at least monthly, maybe more often, and you're going to hear from our team. And the whole goal, especially in this changed market influenced by world events and the pandemic, we just want to keep you informed so that you can make well-informed decisions about your real estate. Bottom line, that's our goal. We realize that social distancing is going to get in the way. Stay-in-place orders that many states have may detach you from what's happening in Park City. So the webinars, the roundtables, the newsletters, the podcasts, they're all designed to bridge that gap. Just want to remind you, we are all here, and don't forget, we are open for business. We're helping people buy and sell real estate here. If you've got any questions about Park City Real Estate, give me a call, 435-487-0151, or send me an email, ron@thewilsteinteam.com. Thank you for watching this webinar.